Hi everyone, this is V and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Today I'm going to talk about the surface because art does not exist without its surface. Without surface, there's no point of just painting on it because you need surface to just do something on it. I wanted to do this video to explain different kind of surface and what it used for, which kind of medium you need to. Do you use it for acrylic, watercolor, ink? Do you use it for pastel? Do you use it for drawing? Which surface is better? And depending on what you want to do, which one works the best? Maybe you will discover a surface that you didn't even try and you wanted to, and you see it and you're like, oh, this is kind of interesting, I want to buy it. It's kind of important to have the right surface because you won't be disappointed of the result, because sometimes you do it and the surface won't cooperate for you and you're like, what you doing? I don't want it. I want to explain 4 of them. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. So if you're ready, if you want to, let's do it. Let's go. Let's stop talking and let's start explaining. Okay? Okay, let's go. So the first surface that we're gonna study, that I'm gonna explain to you, is the canvas board. Yes, the popular canvas board. You can buy it in a package of 4, in a package of 10. You can try it alone, and you have a lot of choice, and it's cheap. So what is a canvas board? It's actually an imitation of the texture of a canvas, but it's on a board, so it's really light, it's really cheap. So for someone who just want to try some projects or just are beginners or don't have actually the space in his art shop to put a big canvas, the canvas board is kind of the best choice. So the best to use this is for painting. So if you have acrylic and oil, it works really good. For watercolor, it can work, but as you can see, the canvas is a little bit thin. So if you put too much water, the canvas will curve a little. But it works at first. So if you want to try watercolor, you don't want to buy expensive paper for this kind of painting. It's kind of a good first choice. The reason why people take this one is because it doesn't take a lot of space in the art shop. It's cheap, it's light. You can use it with acrylic, oil, pastel, ink, drawing, watercolor, pretty much everything. The only thing is the result won't be as best with drawing, watercolor, ink, just because of the surface. It's a porous surface. So for maybe some kind of painting, for example, for the ink, maybe the texture will be a problem because you will see the texture in the canvas, so it won't. So it really depends on which kind of work you want to do, but it's cheap, so it's a good choice at first if you are a beginner, if you are on a budget, you don't want to buy $100 of stuff. It's kind of a good first choice. The only thing, if you use more difficult painting, for example watercolor, or use ink or use drawing, maybe the surface will be a problem, but at first it won't. It's just at the end of it, when you're gonna gain experience, you will know which kind of surface you will need, because as time we discover what we need and what we want. But for the first try, this one is pretty cool, yes. So this is the canvas board. Canvas board. So the second surface that we're gonna study, and I'm gonna explain to you, is the most popular one, the most known. You can see it right behind me. It's the canvas! Yay! Canvas. Oh yes, canvas. Why it's so perfect? So first, what is stretch canvas? So it's a canvas they stretch. Yes, I know, amazing. It has a primer on it. So you see the original color on the canvas. You can see behind your stretch canvas. So it's actually more of in an ivory color, or more of a beige. beige color, and after you have a primer that is a gesso. The reason why you put primer on it is because it minimizes the porous surface, so it makes a good porous surface for the painting to grab to it, but it's not so porous that you can see it. So if you do project that's more detailed, for example, when you do oil painting, you actually do portraits, you actually do more of a precise work, you won't have difficulty, you won't be angry because you see the different pores in the canvas. People use this use the stretch canvas for acrylic, for oil. You can use it for watercolor and pastel, but you need a specified primer. Why is that? Because your experience will be so much better. Because watercolor, for example, you use a lot of water. So if you paint with a lot of water on the canvas is not used to have so much humidity. So when you put too much water, it will wave and it will stay wave. So if you want to do on a canvas, you need a primer for that. What you need is an absorbent ground. And what does it do? It have resistance to the humidity and to the water. So it minimizes the wave result because of the water. So if you want to do watercolor on canvas, you can, but I advise you to use a primer that's better for watercolor because your experience will be better. For pastel, you can use it on the canvas, but it's not as texturized as a paper, for example. So the pastel, depending on company that you have, it won't stick as better with a paper. So you need a primer that's gonna have a little bit more texture. There's primer or there's medium that it's more of a sand finish, so it will grab your material much better than just the canvas by itself. But you know, you can. I draw a pastel on it. It was okay. It's just I lose maybe a little bit of product because it won't stick as better as with a primer. So the good reason why people like the stretch canvas is because it's easy to put on a wall. It's you have the best quality when you talk about longevity and application besides of the canvas board. So it's actually the real texture of the canvas. Is not imitation of the canvas. For example, with the canvas board, you have more choice of size. What I mean by that is for the canvas board, I think the largest size is 16 by 20 inches, but for canvas you can do it 40 by 60 inches. You can do so big that you have a little bit more choice for your project. It's kind of more exciting because you're not limited to the size that you want to do. The third surface is actually my favorite. I discovered it 2 years ago and I cannot live without this surface. I'm talking about the wood panel. I like it so much. I'm losing my word because I like it so much. You can use with pretty much everything. So you can use it with acrylic, watercolor, ink, drawing, pastel, anything that you have in mind, mixed media, you want to glue picture, any project, the wood panel is perfect.
I can't believe it!
It can be used with pretty much everything, so you don't know, you have your medium but you don't know which choice you choose. If you don't want to be stressed for the end result, just take the wood panel, you won't be disappointed, I guarantee you. The good reason why people use it because it's more of a soft surface, so it's porous. So what I mean is it's a good surface for acrylic and oil because it can keep it on it, but it's also good for watercolor and ink because it's absorbed but won't change the surface. So it's a great surface for easy application. It's versatile for medium. So if you have different kind of medium, you can use it with pretty much everything. It's durability also because the wood won't change as much as the canvas with age. So for more of if someone wants to keep the canvas 20-30 years, it's kind of a good surface for that. The only downside with it is you need just one step more than other surface. So you need to put a sealer on it. You don't actually need to put sealer on it, but the reason why you need to use sealer is with age. So if you, for example, you do a canvas, you cover all the wood, in 10-20 years or maybe in 5 years, it depends on the kind of wood you're gonna have little piece of wood that's gonna go out and transfer to your paint. So you have the paint and little dots of wood on it, so the sealer keeps the wood tight. A good size of the wood is the texture of it, so if you want to keep the beautiful texture of the wood, you can just paint it and leave it as it is. But if you don't want to see the wood, you can just paint a white undertone at first and after paint, but you can use wood as itself. You can paint it on black, and for pastel, it has a great surface to grab the pastel really good. The last surface that is kind of a long subject, but I'm gonna make it short. Paper, yes, paper. For papers, you can use pastel, oil, watercolor, ink, drawing, acrylic, and all this stuff. Yeah. The only thing that is important to choose the good paper depending on your medium, because the paper is good, it's a really good surface, but you need to actually have different factors so you can choose the right paper for your project. So the upside of the papers is you can buy it in a sketchbook, so you can have 60, 90, 120 papers in one package, so you don't need to go as much to the store as you like. You have different kind of size, you can have little size for travel, you can have big size for a big project. The only thing that you need to know is which paper to choose depending on which medium you have. For example, watercolor, the factor you need to do is the weight of the paper. More it weighs, more it have resistance to water. For example, for a watercolor, the best to buy is 140 pounds or 300 pounds. Every sketchbook or every book or every paper, you have the pound on it. So 40 pounds of the paper, more it's heavy, better it takes resistance to the water and the humidity. First that. Second, the texture. Depending if you want to do, for example, you want to do ink, you don't actually need a porous texture, you can have more of a smooth texture, so you can buy there's paper that's a little bit more smooth, so the application will be better. For pastel, you need to have a little bit textures because it won't stick, so you need to have in mind what is important, what you want to do when you buy your paper, because you're going to be disappointed if you, for example, you use watercolor but you buy a paper that is so thin that when you do one stroke your paper is all over the place. And also there's a lot of choice of paper, there's a lot of color of paper. For pastel, for example, you can have black, you can have gray, you can have brown, you can have white, you can have it's kind of cool for that, but it's a little bit intense at the beginning when you are a beginner and you go to the paper section and you see all these paper. The only trick that you need to have in mind is the weight and the texture of it. So this is pretty much the explanation of the paper. I'm gonna show you different kind of paper, how to use the paper more in another video. Also, what you need to do when you buy a paper, when you have the sketchbooks, for example, you actually sometimes a company just wrote the specification of the paper. So you have sketchbooks. So sketchbooks, what do you mean? It means to do sketch. There's watercolor, so you know that you can use watercolor. The one that I really use is the mixed media, because the name tells by itself it's a mixed media, so I can draw, I can do ink, I can do watercolor, I can do painting, I can do marker. It's kind of a paper that's made for pretty much everything. So if you're more of a paper person, you like to have paper on you, you like to have all your project in it. And this is my sketchbook, so this is what I use for my my project. So this is why I draw my ideas, my principal lines, and I really like to have this because if I want to try some colors, if I want to try some acrylics, I won't be stressed that my paper will wait. So paper is cool because you can use it. It's a good surface for pretty much every kind of medium that you want to do, but the only thing that is important is you need to choose the right paper. So we learned the 4 principal kind of surface that pretty much people buy for their project, and it's important to know which surface works with what. because the experience will be better and when you have fun. Also, it will depend on what you like. So even though I said that stretch canvas is not the best for ink, if you actually use it for your ink, you use stretch canvas and you really liked it, that's the importance. But if you're someone that really are starting to paint and want to have a great experience, it's better to start with a good surface, because when you have a good base, the application will be more fun and then just have a bad surface at first. So I hope you learned a little bit. I hope you discovered something and you didn't actually know. You saw in the art store and you didn't want it to buy it because you don't know how to use it, where to begin with. So you have this kind of video to help you. So if you have any question on anything that I said on this video, you can put in a comment below. If you just want to put a comment, say it's funny, that I'm amazing, you can put a comment. Yes. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, come to the family, because here we learn art without being so serious, because art is fun.